Okay, good morning, everyone. Class this morning at the Daniel S. Loeb Torah Center is in loving memory of Lily Safra Leah Shalom, Leah Bat Chana on her third Azkara, as well as Refuah Shlema for all those who need, Chana Basim Efega, and of course, Lilu Nishmat Ruth Orfali Bat Adela, Leah Shalom. Okay, I want to point out a couple of things which appear in the beginning of the parasha, which really, they could be written today. They are so accurate when it comes to what we're dealing with our enemies. Because back in the Torah, at this time in the parasha, we're discussing the attack of Moab against the Jewish people, against Moshe Rabbeinu and the entire Jewish people. But there's something very telling which really demonstrates how our enemies think. And our enemies think the same way, midor ledor, from generation to generation. Listen to this amazing idea I just heard this morning on the way in. It says, Vayar Balak ben Sipor. We have a king called Balak. He is the king of Moab. And he feels threatened by the Jewish people because Kol Asher Asar Yisrael Amori, because he saw everything the Jewish people did to the Amorites, the Emori. He uses this as a excuse, as a catalyst to attack and try to destroy the Jewish people in a very unusual way, we're going to see, but he does that. What did the Jewish people do to the Emori? What exactly did Balak hear about that he is now freaking out, worrying that we're going to do exactly the same to him, to Moab? Well, if you look at the end of last week's parasha, at the end of Chokat, we see a very interesting story. We see that Moshe Rabbeinu asks someone called Sichon, who at this point is dead, right, of our parsha, but at that point he's alive. He is the king of the Emori. What did Moshe Rabbeinu want to do? He said, look, we want no trouble. We're making our way into the land of Israel. Do me a favor, let us pass through. Ebra Bartzacha, let me pass through your land. We're not going to take your foods. Anything we take, we're going to pay for. We're not going to drink from your well water. We're going to take the regular road. We're not going to go and start finding all the weird roads to get there. You think maybe a threat towards you. It really was a non-confrontational, derech way that Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to make his way for the entire Jewish people into the land. We have no interest in your land, Sichon. We're not interested. What did Sichon do? He comes to attack us. We didn't lift a finger. We just asked. We hadn't even walked through. And he came and brought out all his people, it says, and they came to attack us and kill us just for asking, nothing else. You know, it's amazing. Balak turns around and says, oh, I saw what you did to Emori. What does Balak leave out? They started it. They started the war. We didn't do it. All we did was ask a question. Can we pass through? They came to attack us. Someone like Balak and our enemies today, and all the people who support our enemies today, follow the same route. They only look at what we do in response to their attacks. Balak says, oh, you attacked the Emori. Yeah, because they came to attack us. We were defending ourselves. It's amazing how short-sighted these people are who attack the Jewish people. And it's happening in our day. They look at Israel, how we're attacking, how we're killing. Yeah, because we have to defend ourselves because you're coming to attack us from every direction in a 7-directional war, from Hezbollah, from Hamas, the Houthis, right, from the West Bank, right? It's unbelievable. They only look at us. This is a tradition of the haters of the Jewish people. They say, oh, we see exactly what you're doing. Excuse me, we're just defending ourselves. Don't just look at what we do to the Emori. You should look what the Emori did to us first of all, and that's how you ended up in this position in the first place. Connected to that, fascinatingly, we see another midah, another attribute of the enemies of the Jewish people, which happened back in the days of Moshe Rabbeinu, and still clearly happened today. And it goes like this. Balak employs this prophet called Bilam, to curse the Jewish people. He said, the Jewish people, they win because of their words, their prayers to God. We're going to use their own game. We're going to attack them using words as well. So he employs this prophet, this individual called Bilam, who was not a good person. He could have been, but he was a rasha. He was a very evil person. And he says the following words when he approaches him to come and attack. And he says, Vata, lachana, you please go, arali et amazeh, go and curse. Curse these people. Ki yatsumu, because there's so many of them. And we know, he says, whoever you bless, we bless. Tevarech muvarach. If you want to bless them, you can give them a bracha. Vashet or you are. And if you want to curse them, they'll be cursed. So Balak is admitting that Bilam has this double power. If he wants to bless people, they will be blessed. If he wants to curse people, they will be cursed. He has that double ability. Which one does Balak ask him to do? Both of them? No. He says, I want you to curse the Jewish people. Here's a good question. Why doesn't Balak say to Bilam, oh, and by the way, don't forget to bless my people, the Moabites. Right, give us a bracha. Give us a bracha. He doesn't say that. He doesn't care about his own people. He doesn't care if they drop off the face of the earth. His whole mahut, his entire essence is curse. Curse those people. Mamash like today. Our enemies today are literally following the rule book of Balak. He doesn't care about his own people. Our enemies today, they say, don't bless my people. They don't need it. All right, we don't want it. All we want to do is kill our enemies, the Jewish people. It's this double negative that they seem to be stuck in and have been stuck in for thousands of years. They could turn around and be like, oh, please, give me a bracha, give us a blessing. Oh, and while you're at it, go kill those people. They don't care about their own people. They're not driven by their own people. They're driven by a hatred for others. Iran doesn't care about its own people. The regime does not care about its own people. They don't care if they perish in the thousands or the millions. Trust me, they have no concerns whatsoever. They just want to keep hold of power. Look at the communists. Stalin was the same thing. He doesn't care if all of his people die off. Hitler and Machshmo, same thing. Let my people die out as long as I can kill my enemy. This is a trait that we see right here in the parasha of Balak. Don't bless my people. Let them perish. But let them perish as long as your people are perishing too. This is not people who want shalom in the world. These are people whose entire existence is based on a plateau of hatred, of sinah. Such people, throughout history, if they don't care about their own people, God dispatches of them. If you want safety for your own people, and you're good to your own people, and you hate others, that's understandable. We get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand where you're coming from, and you may even be given a helping hand. But if your entire essence in life is to just destroy others and curse them and not bring blessings to your own people, knowing full well that when Hamas attacked the Jewish people in Israel, they knew full well we were going to come back and kill their own people, loch patli. As long as we're hurting you on October 7th, that's good enough for me. If that means the result's going to be that we're going to lose many of our people, they're collateral damage. That is how we don't think like that. Good people, good nations do not think that way. They are concerned about every one of their citizens. Okay, having said that, we find a very unusual comparison in Pirkei Avot. Listen to this, which we just read when we go, those who go through Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, we read through these words and we're like, yeah, all right. So here, there's a comparison being made between Bilam and Avraham Avinu. And it says that Bilam and Abraham can be compared. They are both teachers. They both have their own personal yeshivot. And you can be a Talmid of Bilam, or you could be a Talmid of Avraham Avinu. That's up to you. And the Mishnah tells us in the Perek Hey, in the 5th Perek, Mishnah 23, that there are traits of students of Bilam, and there are traits of students of Avraham Avinu. And what are these traits? And it says, whoever has these three halalu traits, what are the traits of Avraham? Ayin tova. Avraham had a good eye. What does that mean? He had 20/20 vision? Didn't wear glasses? No. It means that he had a good eye when he saw other people who were successful and who had financial success and psychological success. And he was happy for them. He didn't have a negative eye. Right? He was happy for other people. V'ruach nemucha. He was very, very humble. He was very wealthy, very successful, very famous. But he always kept his humility low. The nefesh fala. And he had a low nefesh. He didn't want a lot of benefits for himself. All right? He always wanted good for other people, and he didn't have an expansive desire for himself. That is Avraham Avinu. If you have these three traits, you are a student of Avraham Avinu. By the way, I always never really understood. What do you mean a student of Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu lived a long time ago. Is his yeshiva still open? Am I a student of his? So some say, yeah, if you follow these three traits, if Avraham Avinu was alive today, you would be in his yeshiva. That's one interpretation. The interpretation is that Avraham Avinu is not here, but his legacy lives on. And if you follow these traits, it's as though you are a student of his. Some say no. Some say, had you lived back then, had you lived in those days, and you were a student of Avraham, you would have had these three traits, because no one else in his time had these three traits. How about Bilam? Bilam is the exact opposite. Bilam had an ayn ra'ah. He had the evil eye. He was a man of the evil eye. He only had one eye, by the way. And the one eye that he had was closed, was very narrow. He was always jealous of other people. Why do they have this? Why do they have that? He suffered from ayn hara. And he always wanted to get what he could from other people. He had a massive jealousy problem, which ended up leading to his downfall, because he was jealous of Balak and all the money that Balak had, ends up trying to swindle all of that money out of him. He also has the Ruach Gavoah. He wasn't humble. He had a tremendously large ego. Says the Rambam, this is the worst of all traits. The worst trait a person can have is the opposite of humility, a big ego. Right? Ruach Gasa, they're always full of themselves. They think they're better than everyone else. They can't learn. Those people who just cannot learn from anyone else. It's always about me, and I cannot learn from anyone else. I described Bilam yesterday as a narcissist. Complete narcissism. All the traits that we see in the psychological books and in people who suffer from narcissism, that is Bilam. Can't learn, he always knows better. You always say something to him, oh, but I know better. Right? They always do, no matter how successful or unsuccessful they are. And finally, he has a nefesh rechava. He can never be satiated. No matter what you give him, he always wants more. There's never enough money. There's never enough physical gratification. Never enough food. He always increases and increases on his desires. Never happy with what he has. This also led to his downfall. This led to his downfall because when it comes to Balak, he has the same thing. He was very wealthy. Right? He had a lot of good things. And yet, he always wanted more and more and more. And any physical gratification you can imagine, Bilam was involved in it. Let's talk about this idea. Oh, by the way, why are we comparing Avraham Avinu and Bilam? Why is Bilam not being compared to Moshe, right, who lived in his day? Why are we jumping generations from Avraham? And why is Avraham being compared to Bilam? Avraham had people in his day who were not nice people, right? There were many pagans who were knocking around in his day, right? Compare Avraham to them as well. Why are we like jumping generations and popping out, Avraham Avinu and Bilam? So I heard a beautiful idea, and it goes like this. Really, these traits are not just students of them. You're not just hearing traits. You're seeing the essence of where they come from. Avraham was the one who created these positive traits. Until he turned up on the scene, these traits weren't really available. Even Noah didn't have them in the full capacity. Even the great Noah didn't fully have these traits. He didn't even anticipate there would be someone who would have these traits. Avraham Avinu had these traits because he brought them into the world. So when we say you're a student of Avraham, we're saying that you're going back to the source of where these traits came from. Avraham Avinu calculated that this is exactly what God wanted. Bilam, he created these traits. He is the beginning of them. Before they were bad people, but they were amateurs. This is the guy who brought these negative traits into this world. And therefore, when you follow these traits, whether you know it or not, whether you know Bilam or not, you're actually going back to these original traits that belong to Bilam. Because he invented them, he popularized them, and he brought them out into the world. So that is the difference between them. And ayin ra'ah means, we said, that you don't want good for other people. You're constantly jealous of what other people have. That's ayin hara. And that's how ayin hara works. What's the evil eye? What exactly is the evil eye? The evil eye is that you see another person who has a nice house, has a nice car, has a nice nose, it's irrelevant, whatever it is, and you say, I want that thing. Why am I not getting that thing? Why did they get it? Why do I not get it? Abraham was like, because you're not meant to have it. Bilam is all about, I'm meant to have that thing. That thing is meant to be mine. It's been given to that person and it's mine to take. So what do such people do? Well, they may try to take it, right? They may try to buy something very, very similar. That comes from jealousy as well. This surat ayin, right? Narrow eye of like, I want that thing. Or they pray to God and they say, God, give me what that person has, and why does that person have it? That is a very dangerous game to play. Why is it a dangerous game to play? Why is the evil eye so pernicious? Why is it so threatening? Because God listens to all prayers. And if one person turns around, if Sarah looks at Shoshana and says, why does Shoshana have that? Whatever it is, that house, that husband, that car, whatever it is. And she prays to God and says, why does she have that thing? God actually opens up a book. Because it's a prayer. And prayers must be answered. And he reads through the book. And he says, you know what? Shoshana is not worthy of it, and I'm going to take it away from her. Whether Sarah's going to get it or not, that's up to God. But one thing is for sure, the evil eye leads to prayers being made, which is exactly what Bilam was trying to do. Bilam, through his evil eye, was trying to cast an evil eye upon Moshe and the Jewish people. Why did they get that? That success, that Torah. Why are they getting that land of Israel? And they prayed. And he prayed to God that it should be taken away. God did a great favor for us and turned his klalot, his curses, these negative prayers, that's what a curse is, a negative prayer to God, and turned them into barachot. But it could have been, lo aleinu, that these curses could have actually manifested. And if we did not have the merit of ourselves, our mitzvot, and our forefathers, it could have been, chas v'chalila, that these blessings that we had and have could, lo aleinu, be taken away. So you defend yourselves against ayin hara from other people, other nations, by praying for your own success. That is the greatest defense you can have, and being worthy of what you have. If God gives you a blessing, a baracha, which could elicit jealousy and ayin hara, an evil eye from other people, you have to justify the existence of that thing in your life. So if you have a beautiful car, use it for doing chesed. You have a beautiful house, use it to invite guests into you. You have a beautiful brain, use it to help other people when it comes to helping them figure stuff out. Using your blessings to help other people will manifest and allow you to keep it and not let jealousy from other people seep in and take it away. That is the secret to defending yourself against the evil eye. Have a great day.